Hello everybody and welcome back to Be Mr. P. We've got a game here which is going to be good for keeping you warm. It's pretty chilly at the moment, so this will be a good game to warm you up and get the blood flowing. It's called Peg It. I'm not going to apologise for my punishment, my awful jokes. It's a bit of a play on words. We use some pegs and you've got to run, so Peg It. There's an individual game which we're going to start with, which is a shuttle-based game, so short, sort of quick sprints. Then there's a couple of little challenges you can do along the way, including a little partner game, and then a bit of a treasure hunt sort of game as well. All you need for this game is some pegs. I've got a little basket here which you can collect them in, you don't have to have that. And then I've got a cone here. You could use a glove, a sock, or just a mark, or if you've got a bit of chalk or something, somewhere to start from. And it's a short little agility game where you've got to collect the pegs backwards and forth. So the basic element of the game, when you are using pegs, make sure you've got permission. And don't have them on the washing line. We don't want you pulling the washing down or little ones having to try and jump up. So all I'm going to do is put my pegs on my bag, like so. I'm going to start with 5 pegs for this game, by the way. Hopefully you can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's a timed game, so I'm putting my bag over to one side of the playground or one side of the screen that you can see, and I'm going to put the little pot that I'm collecting them in. I'll use this one in a minute. Just to the other side of the playground. You can set the distance according to your size and your ability. I'm going to do it about, I don't know, about 7 or 8 metres roughly. Obviously depends on the size of your playground, your back garden or your living room, whatever space you're playing in. Please refer to the other videos about playing in a safe space to make sure it's free of any clutter, you're not going to trip over things. So I'm going to put my bag to one side of the screen. Hopefully you can still see this. Here, it's got the 5 pegs on. I'm going to put my basket here to the other side of the screen, and about here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about sort of 5 metres. And then what I'm going to try and do, just move these to one side, is start over by my basket. This is the time challenge, so you'll have to use a stopwatch, or if you've got an iPad or a timer, or you can even just count for each other, that's fine. So you can take it in turns to try and get your best score. You can do this competitively where you're trying to beat your brothers or sisters or dad or mums or whoever's at home score. We just do this as a personal challenge, so I'm going to see how quickly I can run to collect each of those cones. You can time me if you like. So I'll start by my box, and then the idea is whoever starts the time will tells me to go. I'm going to sprint out, collect 1 peg at a time. So quickly take a peg, then run back, pop it into there. What we're trying to do, we're trying to stay nice and low as we push off, so I don't want to get to here, then have to bend all the way down to put it. So if I get back to here, and just quickly drop it into the box, then go and get the next peg. I don't mind, okay, bending nice and low, pushing away from there. I don't mind a drop. What we're not doing is running over to our pegs, picking it up and then throwing it from halfway. So a drop is fine, that's okay. What we're not doing is standing here and throwing it. You have to get basically that, use all of that distance to get right back to here, to drop it in there, quickly run out, grab a peg, pop it into there, run out, grab a peg, pop it into the last one. And when the last peg goes into the box, that's the end of your time. Yeah, like I said, I'd start with sort of 5 metres. Obviously, if you're feeling a bit more energetic, you could increase that just depending on the size you've got. I wouldn't go any less than that. Obviously, the older you are, the further you can obviously put that. If you are playing against somebody else, you could do like a time trial. If I'm playing against my brother or sister or my mum or dad or whoever's playing with me at this time, we could have the same setup. So you could have obviously 2. You could put them onto chairs or bits of paper or whatever you can hang them on. I've just used a bag for example. You'd have a cuddly toy that you pin the pegs on. You'd have 1 over there, 1 here, and 2 of you racing at the same time. It's whoever collects their pegs the quickest. Go back to our first video. We talked about the differentiation. If you are playing with someone who's a little bit younger than you, or maybe if you're playing with someone who's a bit older than you, you can change the distance. So maybe if my younger brother or sister are playing and they're not quite as fast as me, they could have a shorter distance to run. So they might have 3 or 4 metres to run to collect theirs. So their box is much closer to where they've got to collect theirs from, or mine could be a little bit further. So I've got to run a further distance and they've got to run a shorter distance. You might even change the number of pegs. So if you get the distance the same, I might have to collect 5 pegs and they might only have to collect 3. So there's a couple of ways you can differentiate that as well. So yeah, or you can do the time challenge if you haven't got anything to play with. Another fun game which I thought of as well is a bit like a treasure hunting game basically. Somebody in your household will have to hide the pegs, either around your room. Again, just make sure it's a safe space so you're not going to bang into tables or trip over things or anywhere dangerous, but in the garden ideally, if it's a dry day. And you can put the pegs around the garden. So somebody goes out and hides them, and then the idea is you then run around a bit like a treasure hunt and have to find as many pegs as you can. You can do this like a shuttle game where you have to run back and put the pegs back. So for example, if I put one peg over here on this glove, one on the bag over here, and then one on the fence over there. So when the game starts, if this is my starting position by the box, I've got to, obviously I wouldn't know where they are. I'd run into the garden, look around. When I find a peg, I have to collect that peg, grab it, pop it back into the box. I'm looking for the next peg, so I'm running around, spotted that one all the way over here. Grab that one, run back to my box, pop it in there, look around, try and find the next one. Grab that one, and then once I've collected all the pegs, put it back into there. Obviously you decide how many pegs you've got. If you are playing in teams, make it way a bit more interesting, you could use different colour pegs. So if I've got white pegs and I'm playing against my sister and she's got yellow pegs, I've got to collect all the white ones, she's got to collect all the yellow ones. You could even make it a bit interesting and make pegs worth different values, so you could write down and create a little score sheet that these little white pegs are worth 5 points, these yellow ones are worth 2 points. If you've got a magic wooden one, it's worth 10 points or something like that, so you can make it a bit more interesting as well, a bit more tactical, and you've got to obviously find certain pegs, etc. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you've got any other ideas about how to play Peg It, please let me know, but yeah, enjoy. Take care everybody, bye.